Right. Oh, and he's finished it off. Gunner! Welcome into Durham County Memorial Stadium. It's Tobacco Road FC taking on the Carolina Dynamo here on this fine Friday afternoon. It's a scorcher, and alongside me is Jacob Turner.
Yeah, Jamie, looking forward to it tonight. Got a real hot evening here in Durham, North Carolina, but nonetheless, two teams that need a win, two teams that have been struggling recently. Tobacco Road coming off a good result on the road against the Charlotte Eagles, a 0-0 tie, and Carolina Dynamo, in the same boat, been playing well recently. Not great, 1-0 loss to the best team in the league, second best team in the league right now, NCFC. So looking forward to it tonight. This is two teams that need a win, like I said, so I think it's going to be a hard-fought match.
Yeah, for Tobacco Road, it's crucial. They have to win to stay in this playoff push mathematically and hope that other results go their way as well. What are some key components to Tobacco Road getting a crucial victory tonight? They played out to a 0-0 draw this past Wednesday night in Charlotte to the Charlotte Eagles. Yeah,
and I was talking to starting goalkeeper Ryan Cretons before the match, and he said that Charlotte game was the first time all season that he felt like this team played a full 90 minutes from start to finish. And I talked to some other guys who were there that evening, and they really agreed with that. So I think one of the big points that Tobacco Road has to carry on from that game is that when they come out and they play 90 minutes, they usually get good results. We've seen in the past couple of weeks when they've struggled. Like the last game we were here, Jamie, 1-0 up at halftime against NCFC and ended up losing 3-1. Why was that? Because this team really only played 45 solid minutes. So I think one of the main key components for tonight is, can this team come out from the first minute until the 90th and play all of them? That's one thing they've struggled to do all season, and we'll see if they can do that. But we also have a couple new additions tonight as well, the guys that started against Charlotte Eagles midweek. Both Carolina guys. Johnny Nelson was a freshman there last season, started all 22 games for North Carolina. Very good defender, was a #1 ranked prospect in the class of 2017, so a really solid guy. He's on the bench tonight. But Antonio Lopez, another new addition to this team, finds himself in the starting lineup again. I'm excited to see how he plays. I know I talked to you pre-match, Jamie. You were down in Charlotte. You said he had a really solid match against the Eagles. So two new additions. Hopefully they can bring a little bit more of a spark to this team, and they can continue to pick up some good results going into the final half of the season.
And in terms of Antonio Lopez coming into this team, he replaces a crucial player that Tobacco Road have been missing ever since he left for bigger things. It's Javier Alcarria, who has taken away from the squad, and Antonio Lopez comes in and plays in that holding midfield role, and he performed really well in Charlotte from what I could tell, and tonight should be no different from him. Another North Carolina product himself over at the Tar Heels.
Yeah, he hasn't played for Carolina, obviously an incoming freshman right now, so I'm anxious to see him play for the Tar Heels next season, because after seeing him play against the Charlotte Eagles, I think he's a really solid guy. And then, and make no mistakes, Mauricio Pineda was a guy that was in this team, was really the stalwart of this team for most of the season, got injured a few weeks ago, and we haven't seen him since. So losing those two guys has really hurt this team. We talked about it a little last game, pregame, Jamie, is the fact that you lose your two starting midfielders that have pretty much played every minute of the season for you. It's hard to replace those guys immediately. I think that's why we saw this team struggle in the second half against NCFC, because, it just wasn't a consistent midfield. But nonetheless, that 0-0 result against the Charlotte Eagles, after talking to some guys, Ryan Cretons straight up told me they should have won that game probably 7-0. They had so many chances they just couldn't bury. Cretons made some crucial saves as well, but for the most part in that game was pretty untested. So, yeah, it's tough when you got to replace both midfielders, but Tommaso D'Agostino, also a guy that came in and really did some good things against the Charlotte Eagles, and that started out in that holding defensive midfielder position. So I think this team's starting to find some stability, starting to find a little bit more confidence, and if they could just play like they really did against NCFC last time out in that first half, they would really have no problems. But as has been the theme most of the season, they just struggle to put a full 90 together.
Now let's talk Carolina Dynamo, a team who are 1-7-2 in the season. Haven't had the best of seasons after last season, not doing too well as well. They do have a plethora of talent on their team, including players from Wake Forest, one of the most nationally ranked sides in college soccer. It's kind of hard to tell why they haven't put on a performance yet this season. They have only the solitary win and 2 draws. All the others have ended in losses for them. But one player that you and I talked about beforehand, Ilias Kazmidis, looks like he could be a threat tonight just for them.
Yeah, Cosminas is a really solid player, leading goal scorer for them right now, 4 goals on the season, 1 assist as well. So he's the guy that, if anything's going to come from this team attacking-wise, it's going to come through him. But besides that, I mean, this team defensively has just struggled, Jamie. 33 goals allowed and only 12 scored. So that kind of just tells the whole tell you need to know about the season, because this team has really, really struggled to defend, and going forward, they've struggled to get anything going. And if you can't do that, especially in the South Atlantic Division that's so talented, especially near the top, you're going to find it hard to lose. You're going to find it hard to win games, And I mean, Carolina Dynamo last season had a really poor season. I know the season before in 2016 had a really solid year where they, didn't win the league by any means, but they were a very good team. But over the past 2 seasons, I don't know if it's down to managerial. They've had the same manager for the past at least 2 seasons, so I don't think it's that. I just think, like you said, Jimmy, on paper this team's really good, but maybe it's some gelling issues, because it's one thing to have a good team on paper, but if you can't put it together, you're going to struggle to win games, and that's really what the Carolina Dynamo have struggled to do this season. But make no mistakes, this is a big game, and they're going to pose some threats. This is not an easy team. You can't just come out here and show up and expect to beat them. Tobacco Road's going to have to play a full 90 minutes, and they can do that. They should come out comfortable victors.
Kickoff is fast approaching here in Durham, and coming up after this short break, we'll have all the action live for you on the Tobacco Road FC network. Welcome back into Durham County Memorial Stadium. Jamie Patel alongside Jacob Turner on a beautiful night that could be cooler, but it is a scorcher at the moment. The heat might play a factor on this turf pitch. And Jacob, just how important is it that Tobacco Road come out of the blocks and ignore the conditions? They have a team here that they can easily beat in the Carolina Dynamo. How important is it that you come out guns a-blazing?
I think it's been an important theme all season, Jamie, and it's something we've, in a few games here, we've seen it, but for the most part haven't seen consistently enough from this team. Sometimes they take 10, 15 minutes to get going, but the thing is, when they've jumped on teams early this season, they've usually won those games or at least got a draw out of them, but when they started off slow, they found it they really struggled to get anything going consistently throughout the match. And I know the elements are pretty tough tonight. I mean, it's definitely 95 degrees probably right now, 10 degrees hotter on that turf down there. It's definitely going to play a role, but there's no excuse. These guys are fit. They've been playing all season. They played college soccer all season in the fall. These guys are consistently in shape. We're almost at the end of the season. These guys are in good shape, and it's no excuse for them not to come out fired up, ready to play. And hopefully we'll see that because, like you mentioned, Jamie, this is a team that, at least on paper and record-wise, has struggled in the Carolina Dynamo throughout the season. Make no mistakes, the Tobacco Road has to play well tonight to beat them. They have to play well in any game in the South Atlantic Division to beat anybody. But if they can jump on them early, grab a couple goals, I think that the Carolina Dynamos, the players' heads are going to go down. They're going to feel bad for themselves, and then anything can happen from there. This could be a 4 or 5 goal blowout. But nonetheless, you never know how the Dynamo are going to start too, based on how they might feel like they're just one position below Tobacco Road right now. They may feel like they can come out, and if they start fast, then they can grab a goal, and then you never know where this match is going. So, but yeah, really important to answer your question, Jamie. That Tobacco Road starts off fast, starts off physical, and comes ready to play.
Now, obviously, there are personnel differences from last season and this season, but this is a team that Tobacco Road defeated 4-0 on the opening day here at Durham County Memorial Stadium last season. Can they do the same tonight?
I think they can, Jamie. I mean, you remember the first game of the season in Greensboro this year, too, when they went on the road and beat Carolina Dynamo 2-0. I think this is a team that, I mean, Jamie, we talked about it before that we even came on air. This is a team in the Tobacco Road that any given night can beat any given team. If they come out and they play as good as they can, they play up to their potential, this will definitely be a blowout. But as we've seen throughout the season, we just haven't seen that enough. So I don't really know, to be honest, what to expect from this team. I hope they come out ready to play. They look good in warm-ups. They look energetic. It wasn't very lackadaisical warm-up. Sometimes you see guys just walking around out there on both sides, especially with these heat conditions, but that didn't seem to be the case tonight. And I think weather's going to play a factor, like we've mentioned. But, yes, to answer your question, this Tobacco Road team can come out and put a lot of goals past Carolina Dynamo because, like we said, they let up 33 goals this season. And with our attacking line, the likes of Toph Water, the likes of Ben Fisher, who's also been really solid, Tommaso D'Agostino's had some assists this season. With those three guys in the starting lineup, they should be looking to really punish this Carolina Dynamo team when they can.
Well, coming up after this short break, we'll have kickoff for you following the national anthem and the player lineups being called out on the PA system here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. We'll be back with you shortly.
And it's in! What a header!
Still Zach Wright.
Oh, and he's finished it off! Gunner!
controls that right.
Oh, and he's finished it off! Garner!
And Jamie, we just witnessed a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. A beautiful voice down there. Got me a little excited to get this game started. Jamie, I know you're looking forward to it as well, but go ahead and introduce us to the lineups tonight, starting with the visiting Carolina Dynamo.
Yeah, for the visitors, it's Nick Gardner in goal. Their backline is anchored by Nick Phipps, Cole Watkins, Omel Hawaii, Nathaniel Rennick as well. The midfield consists of Niji Cooper, Ibrahim Zaitawi, Hunter Duvall, and Faisal Ambasalat. Up front, it's two striking options, Ilias Kasmidis and Marcel Faden-Holtz. For Tobacco Road, familiar face in goal, once again Ryan Cretins getting the start for Los Toros. The back line, there's been a few changes. Brad Bruhawk has come in at centre-back. Alex Comsia maintains his place, as well as Huntley Munn. Dylan Chain returns to the lineup as well for Tobacco Road, playing in that left wing-back role that was filled by Johnny Nelson on the away trip to Charlotte, as Dylan Chain couldn't make that squad. Eli Garner also in midfield tonight for Tobacco Road, probably going to be playing on the right-hand side, as he did against Charlotte. Antonio Lopez will be anchoring the midfield in the centre, alongside Tommaso De Agostino, and Fernando Castellanos has a position just in front of them. Ben Fisher and Mustafa Wada are the two strikers tonight. And we are underway here in Durham, North Carolina. And it's Tobacco Road early on with possession. Brad Ruhawk, another player who's returned to this lineup for Tobacco Road. A man who really hasn't made too many away trips and has played in a lot of the home games. What have you made of his professional experience he's brought to this team, having played with the likes of North Carolina FC's first team?
Yeah, I think he's been solid this season. Would have liked to have seen him in a few more games on the road this year. I think he's been one of our better defenders for most of the season. In the beginning, didn't really play too many games. Kind of came in, I believe this third game of the season. I think he got his first start. Not his first start, but his first appearance, and he looked good. And ever since then, he hasn't really looked back. I think Tobacco Road overall this year, at times, has been really good defensively, but based on our results and our record this season, just haven't been good enough.
D'Agostino finds Garner early on. It's still with Garner, and it's collected easily by Nick Gardner. That will be a verbal matchup tonight for us to try and handle.
Yes, it will, Jamie. But good start for Tobacco Road. We talked about it all pre-match, Jamie. Can this team come out and start fast? And, in the first minute or so, get a decent shot on goal by Eli Gardner.
Cleared away by El Amwi, and he's found Kasmidis. Already an early chance for the Greek, and that one didn't trouble Ryan Cretins. It was good defending from Comsia.
Yeah, great use of his body there by Comsia. Just kind of gets in front of Cosmia. Had him beat by pace, which I was surprised. I didn't realize Cosmia was that fast. But good defending by him. And that was definitely a decent chance after really just a poor header from Huntley Munn.
That ball just ran out to play. Eli Garner couldn't get it on the end of that pass. Well, up top tonight, it's Ben Fisher who'll be playing in a more forward position, with Taff Wada dropping back as he is at the moment. Ben Fisher, another player for Tobacco Road, returning to the lineup. He was at a trial with Sporting Kansas City of MLS over this past week, and here he is on the ball for Tobacco Road, winning a free kick as well.
Yeah, good to see Ben Fisher getting an opportunity to make it at the highest level of soccer. That's what the PDL is all about, is getting guys to go up to the MLS or the USL. So excited to see him get an opportunity, and hope everything went well for him. Big miss, though, for Tobacco Road. He's been really good this season so far. A lot of pace on him. Very disruptive player, high-energy guy. So glad to see him back in the starting 11 tonight.
Chain. And Fisher is offside. Two UNCW teammates linking up there. There's quite a UNCW flair to this Tobacco Road team, as we've mentioned in previous broadcasts. And that sort of chemistry at the college level brought into this semi-professional level can benefit teams like Tobacco Road when they want to build a sort of identity, and having familiar faces around the pitch helps with that.
Yeah, it definitely does, Jamie. Having guys that you played with, having guys that you know go through a whole season with at the collegiate level in the fall is very crucial, and it builds chemistry that you already got to build chemistry coming into a team like this because you got guys from everywhere. So having guys that you played with, you also got the likes of Ryan Cretans at UNCW, starting goalkeeper, played all 20 games for them last season. So yeah, it's crucial, and I think it really helps in just helping teams gel and get to know each other better.
Cleared away by Chain. It was Rennick trying to get something started for the Dynamo. They have also started brightly tonight, as you saw with Kasmidis getting in behind early on. This time it's cleared away by Munn. There'll be a throw in on this near side to be taken by Rennick, which he finally does. And it's still with the Dynamo, cleared away by Munn again, and then flicked on by Castellanos. It'll come back the way of Cooper, and then this time cleared away by D'Agostino. A shaky start for Tobacco Road.
And Jamie, it's disappointing because we started so well in that first minute going forward and getting a shot early on.
Well, hang on here. There might be a chance on the break. Wada trying to find Fisher, who looks to be onside. Clipped in towards Eli Garner. And hooked away in the end by the Dynamo defense. And Munn did really well there up against Casamidis.
Good work there by Huntley Munn to disrupt that attack, but decent opportunity. You saw Top Wada was trying to play a through ball for Fisher. It's a poor little flick there from Wada. Not the best decision from him. Though he's capable of it.
And then another good challenge from Comsia. And Comsia looked like he got in a bit of a tussle there with his opponent and arguing with the referee. That was a foul, but the referee allowed play to go on. Didn't see anything wrong with that.
It looked like a foul to me too, Jimmy, but for Comsia's sake, you got to keep playing. You can't take plays off. You're sitting there complaining to the ref, our center back, and they're on an attack. So I know it was a foul, Alex, but got to keep playing, man, especially when you got guys going forward like that. Got to get back and help your teammates out.
It's been cut out by Antonio Lopez. Cut back by Fisher, but he is offside again. Fisher just straying offside slightly on his runs, not timing them quite to perfection, but as the match goes on tonight, he'll find himself in dangerous positions on that left-hand side.
Yeah, Ben Fisher has made some decent runs so far, just not being found early enough. I don't know if he's making the run too late or if guys just aren't finding him. I think it's a little mixture of both right now, but yeah, I guarantee if he keeps making those runs, he's going to find himself on sides and in good positions because he's certainly seen a lot of the ball early on so far.
Here's El Amwi, cut out by D'Agostino, and Castellanos has put Wada through, but he is just offside as well. The Dynamo are getting very lucky with these calls, and while Wada was offside, they were sleeping.
Yeah, I think we've seen a record number of offsides calls so far with the amount of minutes we played, Jamie. But yeah, Tobacco Road finding themselves in good positions. Just got to watch that line and hold your run a little bit because we got the likes of Top Wada and Eli Gardner up there making some runs as well. Ben Fisher, all three guys that are really speedy. So they don't necessarily need that advantage. Just make that run, and their speed, let alone, is going to help them beat their opponent. So just got to watch your line. But good aggressive start from Tobacco Road overall. Starting to find a little bit of a foothold in this game.
Tonight, Eli Garner on the right-hand side, playing in that right-back position he played in the away leg against Charlotte Eagles. And something of an unfamiliar position for him so far this season. He's been used primarily as a striker going forward for Tobacco Road, and now that there are more attacking options going forward, he's been pushed all the way back to keep him in the lineup, but play him in the position that he played with the Richmond Kickers.
Yeah, Eli Gardner is a very versatile player. He's a guy that can really play any position for you. Maybe besides goalkeeper, Jamie, but yeah, I mean, you even see him. He's playing kind of a right wing-back position, but he's found himself in the box a ton so far tonight. And I think that's why it's good to have him out there because you know he's going to provide you some things going forward. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how he does on that right wing. He looked good against the Charlotte Eagles, looked really solid, and hopefully he'll keep it up.
The throw-in taken quickly by Chain. Wada will be on the end of it. And his touch just let him down there. Almost dribbled against himself.
Yeah, tough. Wada just letting that ball go off the opposite foot and roll out of bounds. You see what he was trying to do, cut back and have a cross, but just a poor touch from him in the end. A little uncharacteristic from Top Wada, who's really been, I'd say overall, Tobacco Road's best player so far this season.
Ruhak is challenging with a move, excuse me there. Quite a mouthful, his name.
Yeah, it is, Jamie. There's a few guys on this Carolina Dynamo roster. Their last names are almost, dare I say, impossible to pronounce.
Almu Baslat, that was cleared away by Al Amwi. Mun. Back to him from Lopez. Mun has been forced back to Ryan Cretins, his goalkeeper, who's, when he's been called into action, Ryan Cretins has been nothing short of quality.
Yeah, had some really good saves against the Charlotte Eagles last week this past Wednesday to keep Tobacco Road in the game.
Mun was caught out by Cooper. And the Dynamo looking to capitalize. Find its way back to Almu Baslat, who's playing in sort of a floating role for the Dynamo, just in every sort of position, trying to get the ball back to him. He's clearly going to be their playmaker going forward.
Yeah, he's the guy they're looking for, the Carolina Dynamo. He's the guy that just kind of makes things happen for them going forward, connects that defense and the strikers. So, yeah, it's important that Tobacco Road tries to keep him off the ball as much as they can, because at least so far when he's gotten on the ball, he's looked the most dangerous player for the Dynamo.
Wada tried to chest it on for Castellanos, and Almu Baslat will come away with it for the Dynamo. He's closed down well by Ruhak. Casmidis trying to turn and cut out well by D'Agostino, showing off a bit of dribbling ability that he does possess. Another player with professional experience in this Tobacco Road side. That's a poor ball from Nick Gardner. The ball boy just taking his time trying to get the ball back to the touchline for Dylan Chain to throw it in.
Hey, Jamie, they got to be winded down there tonight as well. It's a scorcher. We're standing up here outside, got a little bit of shade on us, and I know I've been sweating since I got here, so I can only imagine how anybody down near the field is feeling right now.
Almu Baslat's brought down by Lopez after Castellanos lost it.
Carolina Dynamo certainly not eager to get play going again. And they probably looked the better in possession so far tonight as well. They've kept the ball well on the ground at times, have struggled, though Nick Gardner, especially in goal, to say it lightly, his distribution has just not been great tonight.
Lopez finds Comsia, and now Ruhak. And Comsia was trying to look for the run of Eli Garner. The throw-in's taken quickly. D'Agostino looking to switch play and find Dylan Chain, but the ball was just behind him. The bounce almost deceived Chain on that left-hand side.
Yeah, just a little bit behind Dylan Chain there. But good idea. Switching, it's good to switch the field, especially when you're playing with two wingbacks, because they provide so much width for your team and attacking options as well going forward. So good look there. Just not the greatest ball in the end, but Chain in a good position. If he keeps making those runs, he's going to find himself in some good positions going forward.
And Casamidis looking lively for the Dynamo, as we predicted in the pre-match show. Just dropping off a bit and trying to get his team going from the back. As Tobacco Road with the high pressure. Castellanos, who was trying to feed Garner. And it's back with Nando. Now with Chain. Can he deliver? Does it look like there was a bit of confusion between the Dynamo defenders on how to clear that ball out? It nearly rolled out for a corner. Had it not been for a last-minute clearance. That's a handball from D'Agostino. Don't think that was intentional, but just had his arm raised.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. Just went a little bit out of control to win that ball. But going back to that chance, Fernando Castellanos finds himself on the 18, really. But just kind of, it seems like Carolina Dynamo read that play way too easily. Eli Gardner made a good run, but Castellanos was just staring that way the whole time. Easy to see what he was about to do, and easy interception in the long run by Dynamo. But that was a great position for Tobacco Road to have an opportunity, especially with a guy as clinical as Eli Gardner can be making that run. Because if he gets that ball, he's one-on-one with the keeper, and 9 times out of 10, he buries it.
The Dynamo ball. Apart from the few chances created by the Dynamo, this has been quite a sluggish start from both sides.
Yeah, not the greatest start from either team tonight. Both teams really struggled to get any great chances so far. And both teams really struggling to keep possession for a decent amount of time tonight. And hopefully for the game's sake, sorry to interrupt you, Jamie, that'll change because it's been a bit of ugly football so far tonight, Jamie.
Mustafa Wada was brought down there. The referee adjudged that to be a foul, and Tobacco Road getting play back underway very quickly. And looked like Lopez might have been fouled as well, but the referee waves play on. Looked like he may have lost control of the ball there. Wada trying to catch the goalkeeper offline.
Yeah, good idea there from Top Wada. I think Gardner would have been fine and able to collect that ball even if it was a great shot from him. But you see his awareness, Top Wada. He's just such a talented player. It takes a lot of confidence, and it takes a lot of skill to pull that off. And if it wasn't for the Carolina Dynamo defender just getting away, I think that ball was on target at least.
D'Agostino. Ruhawk. Munn. Now here's Chain. Tobacco Road just happy to keep possession of the ball and try and build out from the back.
Yeah, this is better from Tobacco Road. Patient build-up play. Just probing right in front of that Carolina Dynamo defense who struggled to keep the ball at the back of the net. And good run there by Ben Fisher, but one-on-one just wasn't able to get past his man. Poor touch off his chest leads to a goal kick. But that's much better from Tobacco Road. Like to see that probing type of plays. This is a team that at times throughout the season has kept the ball really well. And I think it's one of their strong suits, but sometimes we see them play really direct football, long balls over the top. And a little bit surprised to see them not playing that tonight with the speed they have up front and compared to the shakiness of this Carolina Dynamo defense. But always like to watch possession-based football. It's just so much more fun and clean to watch.
And Dynamo come forward through Cooper. Yes, Casimidis in the middle, and he couldn't find him. Munn was in the way.
Yeah, good interference there by the UNCW player, Huntley Munn, in the right position. Poor cross there anyway by Najee Cooper. Barely got off the ground.
Comcia just directing his fellow centre-backs into position. Given away by Fisher. That's a hard challenge from Comcia on Casimidis, and the Dynamo maintain possession.
Comcia is certainly not a guy that shies away from aggressive tackles. That's what you want to see from your captain, too.
It's a lovely turn from Almu Baslat. Sorry to cut you off there, Jacob. But it was a good chance for the Dynamo. He nearly found some space to unleash a venomous shot, but it was a good block in the end from Alex Comcia. Cooper trying to turn Munn, and it looked like he Might have taken the ball out over the line. Linesman was right there to see that.
Yeah, Jamie, that ball looked 2-3 yards out of bounds there, but linesman didn't really seem to be looking at the line, was more focused on the battle that was going on. I think he just missed that one.
And kept in play well by Chain. Wada. And it's still tough. Wada driving forward. It's a break on for Tobacco Road. Can Ghana get there? It's a crucial intervention by Nick Phipps. But Tobacco Road are still pressing. Ghana's in behind. And he's not able to cut it back for Wada to get on the end of.
Yeah, wrong decision there by Eli Gardner. A little bit shaken up in the process as well. Hopefully he's all right. A guy that a couple weeks ago missed some games through suspension. I think Tobacco Road's a better team within minutes, so it looks to be all right, though.
Tobacco Road still probing. It's a chance for Castellanos. Saved by Gardner.
And Jamie, that was a good initial save by Nick Garner, but Ben Fisher just finds himself out of position 20 yards back. The guy who's leading your line is nowhere to be found, and if he's in the box, that's an easy tap, and it's 1-0 Tobacco Road. Ben Fisher just having to drop a little bit deeper to get some service. A little bit contrary to how we saw him start with all those runs. I was surprised not to see him in the box feeding off of that ball. And Top Wada as well, who's had to drop in a little bit more. Not sure if that's because the strikers for Tobacco Road just don't feel like they're getting enough service right now and they feel like they have to drop back to get the ball. But nonetheless, should be 1-0 right now. Your starting striker, guy that's leading the line, has to be there to bury that.
Now Dynamo look like they're hanging on by a thread at the moment. Even with Tobacco Road not playing at their best, they're still creating more chances, more clear-cut opportunities, as you've seen with those last two from Eli Garner and Castellanos. There might be a chance for the Dynamo to come forward. Comzia looked like he was being grabbed by Casmidis.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul that Casmidis needed to make either, Jamie. But Tobacco Road, that's fourth or fifth giveaway we've seen tonight, and right in the middle of the field, and you just can't give the ball away. They're a better team, other than the Carolina Dynamo really is going to punish you.
Ruhak finds Garner. Fisher just looking to come inside any opportunity he gets. Lopez, who's looked really good so far for Tobacco Road, hasn't put a foot wrong in these opening 22 minutes.
Yeah, Lopez has looked good so far tonight. We just want to see him on the ball a little bit more because when he has got it, he's made things tick, he's made things go. Hopefully he can continue to get a few more touches as the game goes on.
And just as we say that, we see him attempt a neat little turn and ends up slipping on the turf.
I think they call that the curse of the commentator, Jamie?
I think we have had our fair share of the curse of the commentator.
Yeah, if you're believing in those kind of things, I guess. But yeah, I know a couple of times this season we've complimented a player and they've messed up right afterwards. But regardless of Mikey Lopez's slip, he's been solid so far tonight.
Wada looking to send Ben Fisher through on goal, but his ball is cut out. Nigel Cooper will try and beat Dylan Chain, and Chain wins the battle, but it's still a throw-in for the Dynamo.
Another poor decision by the linesman over here. I think that ball, from up here, it looked like an easy decision, and that ball hit off of Najee Cooper, but the linesman's in a better position than me, so who am I to talk?
23 minutes gone, still 0-0 here between Tobacco Road and the Carolina Dynamo. That's an excellent challenge from Chain.
And Najee Cooper's really forced Dylan Chain to work really hard so far tonight. But Chain looks up for the challenge, made some really good tackles tracking back.
Rennick. Still with Rennick. He looks like he's been brought down. And it's a penalty for the Dynamo. Out of absolutely nothing, the Dynamo have a chance to take the lead. And it was a good run from Rennick, and he was just brought down clumsily by a Tobacco Road defender. The linesman had his flag up. So in the referee's mind, there's no doubt that that's the right decision.
Yeah, and the referee hesitated just a little bit. I think he waited until he saw his linesman with his flag up and then made the decision, because it took him a few seconds to point to that spot. Brad Ruhock certainly not happy with that decision. You saw Ryan Cretons also talking to the referee, complaining a little bit, as you would expect. I don't know too much about that one, Jamie. It was such a bang-bang play. A couple players really obstructing my view up here. I couldn't tell if that was really a penalty kick or not, but nonetheless, totally against the run of play. Carolina Dynamo finds himself with a great opportunity to go 1-0 up, and with their leading scorer on the season at the penalty spot, you probably wouldn't bet against him.
What a chance for Kazmidis to turn some heads here. And his head is the coolest into the side netting. A fantastic penalty, but an absolutely abysmal start from Tobacco Road.
Totally against the run of play, Jamie. Tobacco Road found themselves 1-0 behind against the worst team in the league. Jamie, 1 win and 7 losses on the season. This team has struggled to get goals, and they find themselves 1-0 up in the first 24 minutes. Not a good start from Tobacco Road. I think they've still been the better team throughout the first half so far, but they'll have a goal to show for it and find themselves behind now.
And Castellanos turning a few heads from his own teammates with a poor decision there, straight from the kickoff, trying to beat Nick Gardner in goal. He makes up for it by winning the ball back and finding D'Agostino. Fisher. You can see that goal has clearly brought Tobacco Road back to life. But should it really be conceding that causes them to wake up?
Nah, Jamie, I don't think it is. We talked about it all pregame. We've really talked about it the past few games. If this Tobacco Road team doesn't start well, they find themselves in similar positions, 1-2-0 behind, and then they wake up. And that's just an unfortunate way to play as a team. You got to come out firing. And while they've been the better team throughout the first half, you can't get behind 1-0 against this team. This Carolina Dynamo team going forward is just not good. And I don't want to sit here and bash the Carolina Dynamo. But throughout the season, they just haven't struggled to do anything going forward. And you give a team like that, they can't really score goals very easily, an easy penalty kick right there, they're going to bury it. So
Fisher was looking for Garner, and looks like Al Amwi lost his boot on the way, being challenged by Garner. Not sure if Tobacco Road's number 18 had a role in that. But nonetheless, it'll be a deep throw-in to be taken by Chain, and then headed away by that man, Al Amwi. And Nigel Cooper just couldn't get on the end of that.
Good clearance, though, by Al Amwi. Really broke up that attack. Poor throw by Dylan Chain. We've seen him throw some monster balls in the middle, but not right there. Barely beat the first man.
Wada. And Wada again. Decent effort by the number 9 for Tobacco Road.
Clever little turn there from Top Waters. Creates a little bit of space. He gets the shot off, but in the end, just not strong enough. Not enough pace on it to beat Nick Gardner back there in goal.
Chain. Can Tobacco Road find an equaliser quickly and force the momentum in their favour? They feel that this is a game they should be winning. Not by just by one, but multiple goals. Wada's in behind. He's got it round the goalkeeper, and he couldn't find the back of the net. To be fair to him, it was a tough angle. But this is much better from Tobacco Road. Wada just capitalising on defensive mistakes from the Dynamo.
Yeah, what a mistake that was from Nick Gardner, choosing to come out, try to win that ball. If you're going to make that decision to commit as a goalkeeper, you got to get there, and he doesn't. I was thinking and hoping Top Wada was going to try to head that ball in the back of the net, but tried to kick it in with his right foot, and from a tough angle like that, ball bouncing, it's always going to be difficult to keep it down. But good response by Tobacco Road. It's just disappointing that it took a goal for them to really start attacking and going forward.
Headed away by Grenek. Kasmidis, the goal scorer for the Dynamo. And now the Dynamo look confident in possession as well, but they lose out just as I say that. Wada looking to feed Fisher, but his ball was just too loose. Cooper. Be a throw in for the Dynamo. It looked like Devolde got caught there and right in front of the referee. He pleading his case, but referee gives nothing.
Yeah, Duvall certainly has some words for the referee down there. Thought he got kicked. Sounded like it from up here. Duvall's reaction, though, didn't seem to be in too much pain or anything. You usually see guys, if you get kicked that hard in the shin or in the foot, you're going to feel that. So I'm not sure if Duvall was just looking for that foul or not, but certainly has some choice words for the referee.
D'Agostino. He does get caught out, and Cooper robs it off him. He's looked dangerous on this right-hand side, and he's won a free kick in a dangerous area. D'Agostino clumsy in his challenge.
Yeah, Najee Cooper been a very busy player for the Carolina Dynamo. Now everything's attacking-wise has really come down this right wing through Najee Cooper, and D'Agostino tries to get that foot around and win the ball first. Don't think he did. I think he caught Cooper first. Good decision by the linesman down there. And once again, Cosmides finds himself in a really good position with the free kick here. Tobacco Road going to have to be sharp defensively and clear their lines.
It's a two-man wall consisting of D'Agostino and Dylan Chain. And Cosmides is not short of options to aim for in the box. Duvall being one of them. A massive target.
And Cosmides, a guy that grew up playing in Greece, Jamie, so get a little bit of that European flair in him. I've been impressed by him so far, the lone goal scorer tonight.
Will be Cosmides to take. Cut back towards Cooper. And then half cleared by Castellanos. And it was set up for the shot and still in the box. And Tobacco Road just struggling to clear the ball.
I think that pass from D'Agostino just kind of sums up Tobacco Road's performance so far. It just hasn't been sharp. An easy ball that D'Agostino makes 9 times out of 10. Can't even find the feet of Tough.
And D'Agostino headed that ball on and has given the Dynamo a corner. We're at the 30-minute mark here at Durham County Memorial Stadium, where the visitors are leading 1-0 against Tobacco Road FC. The Dynamo taking that lead in the 24th minute from the spot. Cosmides with a clinical finish. And then looking to double that lead here. Headed on by Al-Amwi and just over the top of the crossbar, always looping over Cretans, and Ryan Cretans just had to watch that one over.
Yeah, and Jamie, going back to your point, Dynamo find themselves 1-0 ahead on the road. Manager Tony Falvino definitely got to be happy with the start he's seen from his team. Falvino, a head coach in Greensboro College. Carolina Dynamo obviously based out of Greensboro, North Carolina. About an hour and a half down the road. Actually played for the Dynamo during the 2004 and 2005 seasons. He used to be the assistant at Davidson College as well, so a guy that had a little bit of playing pedigree and certainly has made his rounds in coaching and applying his trade now at Greensboro College. He's certainly got to be happy with the start his team's made, especially based on how they played throughout the season.
Rennick gives it away. Castellanos makes something out of it for Chain. Can he deliver? Blocked by Al-Amwi.
And Jamie, Tony Falvino, guy we were just talking about, certainly been the loudest of both managers tonight. Finds himself standing up on the touchline a lot tonight, yelling at his players. Not surprising when you have a team that struggles so much in the Carolina Dynamo. Usually your manager's going to be up off his seat a lot, trying to get his guys going.
And Tobacco Road are on the back foot again. Al-Mubaslat trying to catch Ruhok into a challenge, and Comsia was there to block again, but the Dynamo looking even more dangerous going forward every time they do.
And Brad Ruhok should be hugging Alex Comsia right now, because that was a poor decision by him to go to the ground, and Comsia bails him out. Great reading of play right there to block that cross, but just no need for Ruhok to go to the ground right there. Stay on your feet.
They've already conceded 1 penalty tonight, and a second would be disastrous for Tobacco Road defence, who have looked strong for most of the season. And it was a good header from Al-Amwi that Ryan Cretans was able to block, and Ben Fisher has been fouled on the follow-up.
That was a textbook reaction save there by Cretans. Not sure how much he knew about it. Ball comes in hot, just reacts, puts his hands up. Good save in the end, but that's one of those reaction saves you develop over time from hours and hours on the training pitch. But like you said earlier, Jamie, when Cretans has been called into action this season, he's done a good job and bails Tobacco Road out again there.
Ruhok. Another long clearance from him. Flicked on by Lopez, and a massive clearance by Rennick, and he got clipped on the way through by Wada. Incredible height on that ball.
Yeah, that was a booming kick right there. A good touch right there as well by Alawi. Chest like Marlon Fellaini down there, Jamie. Best chest in world football, if you ask me.
Definitely as a rival at this level.
Yeah, certainly.
Almu Baslat is fouled by D'Agostino, and it's not his first challenge that he's been caught in tonight.
Yeah,
the Italian for Tobacco Road.
D'Agostino is, over the past 10-15 minutes, really struggled to get anything going. A few misplaced passes, some late fouls called on him. Not the best performance by him so far, especially based on how well he played midweek against the Charlotte Eagles in that defensive midfielder position.
El Amwi looking for Almu Baslat. Headed away, but not convincingly, by D'Agostino. Just over 10 minutes left at the end of this first half. The Dynamo still leading 1-0, thanks to a calm finish from the spot from Kasmidis. Tobacco Road not short of creating chances on their own, but the Dynamo have been the team that have capitalised on theirs. Deval. Rennick nearly caught out by Chain, and Cooper has been flagged offside. And Tobacco Road have a chance to reset.
Certainly seen our fair share of offsides call for both teams tonight, Jamie, so far.
Cleared away by Comsia. Al Amwi. And he gives possession away to Wada. And it's a corner for Tobacco Road. Looks like Zaitawi was not happy with the challenge from Wada. He looked like both players were trying to win the ball, and Tobacco Road have a chance out of nothing, you have to say, to get an equaliser, an all-important one. With half-time lurking, they do not want to go into the dressing room down.
Yes, that was a bundling clearance there by Zaitawi. Came in real aggressive right there. Good clearance by him.
It'll be D'Agostino to take. Looking for Comsia. Cut back, it nearly found Garner. And Comsia's being held. Cleared away by Deval. And Munn got that right with Kasmidis lurking at his back. And given away by D'Agostino.
It's another giveaway by D'Agostino.
And Almu Baslat's in. Munn is the only defender back, and Antonio Lopez did brilliantly to track back. A wonderful defensive saviour from the new man for Tobacco Road.
Cosmita found himself in acres of space, 2v1 in the middle, and just really didn't have any movement for him. Didn't make really any kind of run, just stayed on that back post. It was always going to be tough for his teammate to find him. I got to blame Cosmitas there. He's got to make a stronger run there.
Headed on by Deval. Al Amwi. That was a clever attempt from him, trying to find the top left-hand corner. And it nearly came off.
Good idea there from Al Amwi. You see what he was trying to do, Jamie. Put it in that side netting over there. I don't think Cretans knew too much about that ball. But Carolina Dynamo, ever since that goal, have kicked on, and Tobacco Road really done the exact opposite. Started off decent, but for most of this first half have definitely played second fiddle to the Dynamo. As we see just an uncharacteristic distribution there by Cretans.
Watkins finds Al Amwi. And now Rennick. Was headed away by Antonio Lopez. Munn. It's a searching ball that Wada might get on the end of, and in the end it's a foul against Taffwada. Wanted a handball against Al Amwi, but just was bundled over by the Tobacco Road leading man.
Yeah, no need for Taffwada to do that, and I think he knows it too. Al Amwi's got his ball facing his own half. That ball's going out of bounds, and Taffwada just comes in and extends those arms. It's a foul all day. Just a poor decision by Taffwada, probably letting out a bit of frustration there based on how he's played this the whole team's played this first half.
Headed away by Munn. Duval. D'Agostino picks it up. Just looking for options. He's short of quite a few, and Garner is fouled.
Just no movement from Tobacco Road, Jamie. None at all. From the forward players to the midfielders, just nobody's really given any options beside the defense back here, and that's only because Carolina Dynamo's content with letting Tobacco Road play with it back here, like any team would be. Just really a lack of movement tonight, and I think that's what's let Tobacco Road down the most. Have really struggled to do anything going forward.
It's a throw in for Tobacco Road. Okay, it was won by Eli Garner, who's out on the track. Looks like he might have been caught. Ruhok brings it forward for Wada. Oh, brilliant turn. And then blocked by Watkins. You could see his instant anger and frustration after he took the shot. It was blocked well by the defender. And Garner's ball back in is one inside a corner.
Going back to that Taffwada chance, Jamie, it was a great bit of skill by him. He's so good with those clever little turns to get just a couple acres of space. There has an opportunity, but I think he just waited a little bit too long to shoot that ball. Just hesitated a little bit.
Castellanos nearly found Garner with a clever ball, and Garner nearly lashed home a volley straight from the set piece. Kasmidis. Cooper. And Tobacco Road have come back and set up shop. With just 4 minutes to go, plus whatever injury time the referee decides to add on. Tobacco Road will go into the halftime break down a goal, and definitely have played as the second best team on this pitch. Lopez, and he's called for a handball. The referee didn't want to play advantage.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a poor decision there by the referee. Dynamo's still in possession, and that's why you see the likes of Nick Phipps complaining over there. He was in the box. Sure, he had two defenders around him, but he still had possession. If I was a referee, I'm waiting, letting to see how that attack plays out, and then blow my whistle. But I think the referee's done a decent job so far. Nothing too crazy. Some questionable fouls here and there, but nonetheless has done a good job to keep this game under control.
We Almubaslat to take the free kick on that far side.
It's a good position here for the Dynamo again.
Some zonal marking in the box, and the free kick is luckily straight at Cretans. Didn't look like there was clear man marking from the Tobacco Road defense at all.
Yeah, Jamie, I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of zonal marking myself. I just don't think it's the best way to defend a corner. If you don't do your responsibility, it creates huge gaps, especially when you're really outnumbering guys down there anyway, usually as a defense when it comes to corners. So I don't like that zonal marking idea.
Fisher was looking for Wada. Tobacco Road might have a flurry here right before half-time, trying to find that elusive equalizer. Castellanos. Wide for Chain. And then back to Castellanos. Munn. Tobacco Road just trying to build something from deep, and Castellanos with a cheeky foul. He's going to get a yellow card, surely, from the referee. Just grabbed Duval's ankle as he was trying to run away with the ball, and that's the first booking tonight for either side.
Jamie, I think that's my first time as a commentator seeing a foul like that. Just grabbing the foot after a little bit of a slip there. We saw Captain Alex Comsey having a few words with Castellanos. He had numbers behind him. He had defenders behind him. Not sure if he needed to make that foul. I think that's what Comsey was saying to him, but finds himself in the book now. He's going to have to be careful for the rest of this match.
In towards Almu Baslat. Not the biggest man on the pitch, but he still gets on the end of that ball. Right, it's harmless for Ryan Cretan to deal with as he finds Fisher. Ruhok. D'Agostino. Lopez. Back for his UNC teammate, or future UNC teammate, I must say, Alex Comsia. D'Agostino. Wada. It'll break the way of Wada. Was he brought down? Referee says it's a free kick right on the edge of the area. And is this the chance Tobacco Road need?
Jamie, I think Top Wada sold that one a little bit, and I think if I asked him right now, he'd agree with me. Al-Amadi complaining to the referees, saying there's just not much in that foul, but nonetheless, Top Wada, he's there. He's in the position. His speed is what caused that foul because Al-Amadi had to reach out and try to win that ball. I think there was definitely a little contact made between there, and a good decision by the referee. And, you know, a foot further down the field, and we've got another penalty, 2 penalties in the first half, but this is a great position. And for a guy with the ability of Top Wada and Tommaso D'Agostino, 2 guys that can have really good free kicks, this is a good opportunity. They need to try to put this on target at least.
Looks like it'll be Wada to take. He looks the more confident having won the free kick. D'Agostino does have a vicious right foot himself. It's Wada! Oh, and it's just past the far left post. Nick Gardner was always reaching for it, and he may not have got there had it been on target.
Nah, Jamie, I don't think he would have got there. And you can see what Top Wada was trying to do, just bend that ball with his left foot in that bottom left corner, and he nearly did it. Good strike there by Top. But from that position, you got to get the ball on target. So that's really the only criticism I have from him there. Got to make sure you get that ball on target and test Nick Gardner there. And Tobacco Road just kind of sums up the first half. Just haven't looked too sharp, and hopefully that'll change going into the second 45 minutes.
Thrown in by Rennick. Cooper manages to deflect that ball off of Chain for a throw-in. Be Rennick to take. As he finds Fadenholtz. Rennick. Back to him again. Zaitawi. Fadenholtz. Rennick. And now Deval. Fadenholtz again. Cooper looked like he might have been tripped up by D'Agostino. He goes down in stages.
D'Agostino having a few words with Najee Cooper, going back and forth right now. I think D'Agostino just complaining about a flop there. Cooper going down a little bit too easy for D'Agostino's liking, but nonetheless, Carolina Dynamo, another good position for them. Have certainly had the better chances and have certainly found themselves in the better position so far in this first 45 minutes.
It'll be Al-Amwi to take. Could have a go at goal or whip this ball in, which he does, and it's come off the side of Dylan Chain, and referee points to the middle. It's half time, and at the break, Tobacco Road are trailing 1-0 to the Carolina Dynamo. It was a penalty that was cheaply given away by Tobacco Road and finished off quite brilliantly by Elias Kasmidis. Coming up after this short break, Jacob and I will break down the first half for you with the Tobacco Road FC halftime show. And then following that, we'll have second half action for you. Welcome into Durham County Memorial Stadium, and at half, Tobacco Road are trailing 1-0 to the Carolina Dynamo, a scoreline that not many would have predicted.
Nah, Jamie, I don't think it was. Going into this match, we talked and we hoped that this Tobacco Road team was going to come out with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more urgency to play, and we really didn't see that. And after the goal, we saw a little bit of a reaction from Tobacco Road for 2-3 minutes, and then the Carolina Dynamo found themselves back on top again. So a little bit disappointing from a Tobacco Road perspective not to come out with a little more urgency, especially against a team like the Carolina Dynamo, who have really struggled this year. Only 1 win on the season, 7 losses, 2 draws. But recently, this Dynamo team has looked decent. Last game on the road at NCFC, one of the best teams in the league, only lose 1-0. We're seeing a similar performance to them tonight. They're doing things well. They're doing things solid. They're not doing anything great, but they're playing well enough. And Tobacco Road, on the other hand, just not really doing anything too great. Just not been sharp enough for me in the first 45 minutes, and hopefully that changes going in the second half.
And Tobacco Road haven't really had luck on their side in the past few matches, and even in the previous win against Linesbridge, they only managed to win 3-2 and let that team back into it. They've been unconvincing.
They've been unconvincing, Jamie. That's a great way to put it. I think for 90 minutes, like Ryan Cretin said, like we mentioned in the the pregame talk, I talked to Ryan Cretin before the game, and he said on Wednesday on the road against the Charlotte Eagles, he felt like that was the only performance of the season where this team played a full 90 minutes. And I think we can kind of see that again tonight. You mentioned that Linesbridge game where Tobacco Road finds themselves 3-0 up, end up winning that game 3-2. And that's because they didn't play a full 90. They played really, really good for about 80 minutes. And the other part, and the last 10 minutes of the match was just super uncharacteristic of how the first 80 minutes of the match had gone. So this Tobacco Road team, I don't know what it is. If it's a lack of urgency, I just don't know why they can't seem to put a full 90 together consistently. Because this team, when they are on and when they are ticking, they're such a good team, and they should be handling this Carolina Dynamo team with ease. But it's not been the case tonight so far. And for their sake, they need to come out fired up in the second half, and hope they'll get a talking to from manager Cedric Burke.
Now, the Carolina Dynamo, although they are up, they are off of a penalty. That's not the most convincing way to score a goal, and they haven't created many chances beside that. So for Tobacco Road, what do they need to do differently besides, harping out those defensive mistakes? Going forward, what do they need to do to try and equalise and then take the lead as well, as they are going to need 3 points tonight to keep that playoff position in their hands?
Yeah, I just think for me, there really hasn't been a link between the midfield and the attack. They've really struggled going forward. There's not a lot of movement up there. We talked about it a little bit in the first half. There's a couple of times where D'Agostino and the likes of Antonio Lopez found themselves in good positions in the middle of the park, and they're sitting on the ball for 5-6 seconds because they have nowhere to go going forward. I think that's really been the problem so far. Just not enough movement up top. Defensively, we've looked solid, besides that penalty, which looking back at it, I have to see a replay to see how much of a clear-cut penalty that was. We had a little bit of a obstructed view from where we're at, so I can't really speak too much on it. But nonetheless, Cosmita steps up and really buries it. But, for me, it's just not been a good enough half and not enough movement from this Tobacco Road team going forward. And that's something they got to change in the second half. There's a lot of things that needs to be changed, but I think it mainly just starts with a sense of urgency. I think that's really going to cure all the ills for Tobacco Road.
Well, coming up after this break, we'll have second half action for you here from Durham County Memorial Stadium.
Welcome back to Durham County Memorial Stadium. The second half gets underway here on a steamy night in Durham, North Carolina. Carolina Dynamo get the half underway first with a long searching ball. Ruhak not able to deal with it. Uncharacteristic. He's been decent so far tonight, especially on the ball. So Dynamo look to get an attack going and really start the second half how they finished the first half on the front foot. Kosmides on the ball. Good bit of steal by Kosmides. Phipps. Kosmides. Poor clearance by Nick Garner again. It's not the first time tonight we've seen some wayward clearances from him. Don't know who that was intended for. That ball just went straight into the USL PDL sign on the track here. Tafwada on the ball. Just tries to play through the legs of Zatawi. Oscar Moreno, a second half substitute for Tobacco Road. Finds himself in a familiar position here on the right side. Deployed as a right wingback, a place we've seen him play a few times this season for Los Toros. Is look decent. He's a guy that manager Cedric Burke usually decides to put on in the second half as an energy guy, a guy that can bring a little bit of spark to the team. Good clearance there by Gardner. As Ruhak wins the battle. Good chase there by Kosmides again. The lone goal scorer tonight here in Durham has been very active going forward. Really, all of Carolina Dynamo's attack has come through Kosmides when he's on the ball. See the likes of Huntley Munn, Tommaso Di Agostino, and Ben Fisher all being replaced at halftime by Cedric Burke. Good move out of the Tobacco Road manager. I think this team really needed a spark, as we talked about during the halftime show. Just a little bit flat for most of that first half, especially after that goal. As you also see Champe Mendoza back on the pitch, a guy that's been really everywhere for Tobacco Road this season. Jamie Patel back alongside me tonight, Jamie. Jamie didn't miss too much. Been a slow start from both teams, really. Carolina Dynamo got the ball underway, and besides a poor clearance by Nick Gardner, who the referee's having a few words with right now, yeah, didn't miss too much.
Referee just setting the goalkeeper off. Looks like he might not have shin guards on. Not quite sure why he's not happy about, but
Jamie, it is shin guards. I heard the referee have some words with manager Tony Falvino down there, and
quite a strange sequence of events. The goalkeeper not allowed to come back on, and as he's just now put his shin guards on, and it looks like they have to throw on a defensive player in goal. Not quite sure who that is.
Jamie,
unbelievable scenes.
Jamie, in my few years of commentating, don't get me wrong, I haven't been doing this too long. I've never seen anything like this before. Having your outfield player have to step in goal. Well, Nick Gardner's putting on he was putting on a kit. Now it's taking it off, and confusing. Really confusing. Look at the fourth official is settled it, but a confusing sequence there, Jamie. I almost lost for words. I don't know what to say about that.
Looks like everyone in the stadium is confused by that decision, but
I think what the referee the reason the referee might have been thinking Nick Gardner needed to step off the field is for the fact that he did come over and leave the pitch.
Chain whipping the ball in, looking for Champe Mendoza. Still alive from Chain. And Mendoza tried to bring it down. He's won it off Duval. Mendoza just couldn't work an opening. Garner got caught by Cooper. And then Al-Amwi makes a mess of the clearance. And Chain with some physical play on Nigel Cooper to win a throw-in.
Jamie, I like that move by Cedric Burt to bring Chepe Mendoza on in the second half. That's a high-energy guy, and that's what Tobacco Road needs.
So he tried to find a shot that nearly found Wada. Ruhak. Oscar Moreno. Comsia. Moreno again. Here's Bamba. Cedric Burt clearly not happy with his performance from the players that were on in the first half and has made quite a few changes, including Michael Bamba, as well as Oscar Moreno and Champe Mendoza, just trying to bring a spark. These are three players that clearly bring quality whenever they step onto the pitch, but it's the Dynamo who are counter-attacking in numbers, and it was a poor touch by Zaitawi, and Tobacco Road will look to come forward again. Still a 1-0 lead for the Dynamo. A first half penalty finished off by Kasmidis after Rennick was brought down, and Zaitawi has been brought down by his man. And the Dynamo just happy to break up play and stop any sort of momentum that Tobacco Road are trying to build up.
Yeah, been a bit of an awkward start to the first half. I think would be the best way, second half, excuse me, would be the best way to describe it, Jamie. Just low energy from both teams, really. Not a lot of players really doing a lot going forward or on the ball. Saw the weird incident with the goalkeeper down there with Nick Gardner failing to have his shin guards on, which you really don't see a lot. Not sure if he forgot to put them on or if he just wasn't wearing them for the whole game. But we talk about the odds on that referee, Jamie. For him to spot that, that's 20/20 vision right there. Unbelievable from the referee. Great bit of refereeing. He should be definitely, if the PDL has highlights for refereeing of the week, he's got to be number one.
Now Mubaslat's brought down by Ruhak, and referee awards a free kick for him. Cedric Bird just issuing instructions to Oscar Moreno on this near touchline. Kasmidis trying to find Almu Baslat, who's kept it in play and whipped it in towards Kasmidis, headed away by Comsia. Deval. In for Fadenholtz. Will be a throw-in for Tobacco Road. And Michael Bamba will take very slowly in towards Garner. And one back by the Dynamo through Deval. Cooper. Kasmidis is offside. Just straight a touch past Comsia. It'll be the fourth change for Tobacco Road. Dylan Chain coming off the light-for-light substitution, and it's the ever-impressive Johnny Nelson coming on tonight, having starred in a 0-0 draw against the Charlotte Eagles away from home. He impressed very much that night, and he'll be a threat for Tobacco Road going forward in the second half.
A little bit surprised to see Dylan Chain coming off the field. I thought he was one of Tobacco Road's better players tonight for the most part. He's been really solid defensively. He's also had a few instances going forward where he's looked promising. But yeah, I'm excited to see Johnny Nelson on the field. Freshman at Carolina last year. Started all 22 games for the Tar Heels, Jimmy. And make no mistake, that is a big accomplishment for a guy to come into a program like North Carolina and start in that defense for him. Also was in a couple rankings in the 2017 class, #1 player in the nation.
Almu Baslat cleared away by Bamba. It was a wonderful run from Zaitawi that set up that chance for the Dynamo. And Amu Baslat was nearly found again. Renek. And Dynamo look to reset. 3 Phipps. And one back by Tobacco Road through Moreno. As he looks to set Eli Garner away. And Garner just couldn't beat Al Amwi. Will be a throw in for Tobacco Road and a switch for the Dynamo. So they look to bring on Hernandez. And he will replace Nigel Cooper, who's proven to be a threat for the Dynamo in the 56 minutes that he played tonight.
Yeah, I thought Cooper was one of the better players for the Dynamo as well. I thought a lot of attack, especially in the first half, came through him down on this right wing. Good performance by Nigel Cooper. Should have his head held high, walking off the field tonight, as he's replaced by Alex Hernandez.
Bamba just trying to find Wada with another long ball, and you don't like to see that from Tobacco Road, a team who are good playing in possession, playing along the ground. Just trying to play over the top of everyone isn't the tactic that they're used to.
Certainly not, Jamie, and hasn't really worked for them throughout the season. When they've tried it, Tobacco Road's just such a better team when they play the ball on the ground, but tonight have really struggled to do it. And I don't think it's necessarily up or down to the defending by Carolina Dynamo. I just think Tobacco Road has just lacked movement in every position and options. There's Ryan Cretons with another errant distribution pass. It's not the first time we've seen Cretons misplace a pass tonight, and he's usually on point with those.
Nelson and Bamba just sandwiching the Dynamo player on that far touchline. Just can't make out who it is.
Yeah, Jamie, I can't tell.
Looks like it's Casmidis who went down in a heap.
A little shaking up on the play right there. Cosmides had a good game tonight for Carolina Dynamo. I think he's definitely been, for both teams, the most involved player on the pitch. Had a lot of touches tonight.
And Dynamo like to take it short. Renek, Hernandez. Renek with a searching ball towards Amu Baslat, cut out by Bamba. And then cleared away by the man from Glossop in the Manchester area of Northern England.
Place you're familiar with, Jamie. Sorry to interrupt you. Had to get you on that Manchester shout out there.
Absolutely. And the referee gives a foul against Moreno this time.
Jamie, I got a question for you. Does everybody in Manchester know each other?
It seems to be that way with how things have been turning around for me recently, but
yeah, I've been shocked with the amount of, I haven't met a ton, but met a few guys from Manchester and North Carolina. And as a Manchester United fan, it's cool to see those kind of things, but if you would have told me a few years ago I'd meet a few people from Manchester just being involved in soccer around here, I would have thought you were lying to me, but it's cool to see the influence. Guys moving from England over here, because there's a lot of good high levels of soccer over here as well.
Be Renek to take this free kick for the Dynamo. Was lofted in towards no one in particular, and the flag is up for offside against the Dynamo.
Kamze giving the thumbs up to the linesman over there. He liked that decision.
A long clearance that Garner has got his head to. Nelson. That should be a free kick, and you can already see the quality he brings to this Tobacco Road FC side instantly.
Yeah, John Nelson with a great bit of skill there to cut that ball inside. Eli Gardner made a blistering run to the outside of him. Tireless work there from Gardner to try to put himself in a good position. And with the skill that John Nelson has, I wouldn't have been surprised if he was able to find Gardner, but he was fouled before he could. So good position here, though, about 20 yards out. We've seen Chompy Mendoza do it this season before here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. Let's see if he can do it again.
He also has Moreno for company.
From this position, though, I think you want to see a right-footed player try to put this on target.
Mendoza takes, and wasn't the best effort from him, just trying to loft it over the top of the wall and dip it under the crossbar, but he only managed to accomplish half of his goal there.
Yeah, we saw it in the first half. We had Wada had a free kick from a very similar position and failed to put the ball on target, and Chompy Mendoza does the same thing. Can't stress how important it is from that position, at a minimum, to just get the ball on target and test the goalkeeper, because you never know if he doesn't catch the ball, that ball can get bounced out, and you got 4 or 5 guys following up for an easy tap in. So 2 disappointing free kicks tonight from Tobacco Road in very promising positions.
Bamba's header was nearly brought down by Wada. And Gardner will just wait for some pressure to build before he picks that ball up. Seen out well by Nelson.
Yeah, John Nelson, a freshman at Carolina, like we mentioned last year. Jamie was ranked #1 as a #1 player in the 2017 class by College Soccer News, and that's a huge accomplishment. Played in the U17 World Cup in Chile in 2015, so a guy that has a lot of experience in the national team level and into the collegiate level now at Carolina, where he's played every game last season. That's huge.
Cut out well by Ruhak. Garner just tried to send it through for one of his teammates, but it's a poor touch from him. And Bamba will find Compsia. Lopez has gone a bit quiet since the end of the first half, and it's a loose pass from him. Lack of communication seems to be the problem right now for Tobacco Road.
Yeah, and can give Mikey Lopez a bit of a pass. Excuse me, not Mikey Lopez. Antonio Lopez a bit of a pass. A guy that's playing only his second game. He's only been with the club a couple weeks at most, so still learning his fellow teammates.
Wada finds Nelson, and he's offside. Nearly a chance for Tobacco Road. Wada with another driving run forward, showing off his dribbling ability that everyone knows about, and Nelson was just a touch offside when he received the pass. Otherwise, he was in.
It's one current Carolina player and a future Carolina player in Taff Wada trying to connect with each other. And poor touch, even though he was offsides, was a poor touch by Nelson, because he was in a great position if he had found himself not offsides, excuse me, on the right side of that line, but just unable to do it. But been a better start from Tobacco Road in the second half. I think they've looked a better team, as the Dynamo just looked kind of content to hold on to this lead and sit back, which is a bit surprising from the way they played in the first half.
Nelson tearing through the defense. Garner looking for Nelson on the return, and he's won a corner. And just an instant chance created there by the run of Nelson, and you can see why Cedric Burke has brought him on. In towards Wada, and off the post. And for a moment there, it didn't look like he connected with it well at all, but it was a great ball in from Mendoza. Wada was very unlucky not to find that bottom left corner.
If I had to bet on Top Wada to finish that ball, Jamie, I would do it. But just like you said, he just didn't make good contact with that, and was probably lucky that ball even hit the post. It seems like it took an eternity to even get there. But Top Wada finds himself in acres of space on his favorite left foot, too, and isn't able to punish the Dynamo there. But nonetheless, a good start from Tobacco Road, the better team so far in the second half, and I think it's down to the substitution that Cedric Burke has made.
Moreno. Always looking to launch an attack is Oscar Moreno, but he couldn't find Garner on that occasion. Ruhak. Bamba. Now Lopez. Being tracked by 2 players, and he's forced all the way back to Ryan Cretons. And then headed clear by Phipps. Ruhok just short of options on where to throw that ball. Duval cut it out. Ruhok wins the ball back again. And like you mentioned, in the first half, Tobacco Road having similar problems with lack of movement on some occasions.
Yeah, Jamie, this team is just too stagnant at times. Not enough movement from anybody on the park besides, maybe the defense whose responsibility it is to not be the ones creating that movement. But yeah, don't know what it's down to. It's just been a theme all season, and these guys are so talented on the ball. They're really good individual players, but don't work hard enough off the ball for me.
Wada finds Garner. That's a clever touch. Looks like he might have been clipped, and linesman's flag is up, and the referee gives a free kick. Looks like Wada will look to deliver this ball in and try and get his in-swinging delivery right. The big men are up from the back.
It's another great opportunity here for Tobacco Road. Let's see if Top Wada can just put this in a good position around that 6-yard line. With a bit of pace is going to cause a lot of problems for Nick Garner.
It's a good ball in. Champey has equalised for Tobacco Road. And the referee's come all the way across to his linesman. Not sure if that goal is going to stand. And it looks like he has. VAR would be quite impressive to have at the moment.
Yeah, Jamie, where's VAR when you need it? Is referee and the linesman discussing this one? I think Dynamo players are complaining of a handball. But the referee is in a better position than the linesman over here, so. And it's a goal.
And he has given it, and he's given a yellow card to Zaitawi for his dissent. Look like they might be claiming handball, offside, not sure, but they're not happy with the decision at all.
Looks like it's a handball, as we can see Cosmitas down there having a few words with the referee, holding his hand. It looks like a few of the Dynamo players actually raised their hand right after that goal was allowed and rushed right over to the referee and the linesman. And you can see Chompy Mendoza right now having a few words with Cedric Burke, touching his chest. I think it went off his chest, but nonetheless, the goal is a goal, regardless of where it hit off. And if we had VAR, Jamie, if we were in the World Cup right now, we'd know for sure. But don't have that luxury in the PDL, and got to trust your officiating crew's instincts. And 1-1 here in Durham, Jamie. We got a game for the next 22 minutes or so.
And it was a tremendous diving header as well from Mendoza. Take nothing away from the finish.
Poor marking from the, sorry to interrupt you, Jamie. Poor marking from the Dynamo as well. Chompy Mendoza just finds himself unmarked in acres of space and had to reach out for that header. It wasn't an easy one, but with no one around him to defend him, that's just a great position to be in. He's going to bury that most of the time, and right there, puts it in the side netting, and got a game here.
I have to give credit as well to Taff Wada for what was a fantastic delivery.
It was, Jamie, and that's kind of what you expect from Taff Wada. At Bethel last year, had such a good season in his 2 years at Bethel University. 26 goals and 11 assists in 35 games. You can see he's just so good on the ball. Knows how to make things happen, and did it again there. And everything, it seems like every goal this season has either come through Chompy Mendoza or Taff Wada.
Be Duval to take the free kick for the Dynamo. It's Wada and Garner are pressing high for Tobacco Road. Ruhok's header. It's an errant one. And in the 70th minute, we're all level here in Durham. Tobacco Road finding their equaliser through Mendoza, and they will look to continue on with this momentum and try and find a winner. With just 20 minutes remaining.
And if Tobacco Road's ever looking for a time to kick on and really start playing with a lot of intensity. It's now. Dynamo on the back foot. Haven't played well in the second half, and it's time to punish them from a Tobacco Road perspective.
Ghana pressing up against the substitute Brady Gunter. One back by Wada. Mendoza. Had an arm on him there from Zaitawi. And then robbed by Rennick. Lopez is challenging as well as Bamba. Neither of them could win the ball. And then Rennick going to ground and cleared by Bamba. No nonsense defending from Michael Bamba.
Yeah, Bamba does well to get back. That for initial challenge with Lopez tracking just wasn't good enough, not aggressive enough, and makes up for it and gets that ball off the field and out of danger, and is the reason Tobacco Road, really the reason that Tobacco Road's got a free kick right here. That's textbook defending there from Bamber. Love the hustle.
Zaitawi ended up fouling Lopez as he came forward, and referee just having another talk with him.
Zaitawi's already found himself in the book a few moments before for dissent. The referee controversially, we'll have to see the replay to really know if it was controversially or not, awarded that goal. Dynamo players complaining that it came off of Chompy Mendoza's hand. But definitely some drama here in the second half, Jamie, from the goalkeeper with no shin guards to a potential hand of God goal, if you want to call it.
I don't think I could have put it in better terms.
Oh, thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that.
And Ruhak will see this ball out as Tobacco Road are trying to build some sort of comeback, having trailed for the entire first half and the very beginning of the second. They're the team who are looking like they will score a winner. Comsia. Bamba. Nelson. Just didn't have any options there as he was forced to track back by Hernandez. Bruhawk. Castellanos. Lopez.
A lot better here from Tobacco Road, keeping that ball on the ground, moving it quickly. A lot more movement up top as well, providing those options.
Garner. It's a clever turn from him. And Al-Hamwi gotten away. And then Garner's just gone and fouled him quite cynically, but referee just gives a free kick. Looked like there was no intent to harm the player there from Eli Garner.
Yeah, it's letting out a bit of frustration after great bit of skill to lose his man there, but gives it away. Good touch good defending by Al-Amwi to clear that ball, and just a little bit of dissent.
Moreno looking to chip it forward for Wada. Mendoza couldn't bring it down. And then Casmides will try and beat Comsia, and Comsia with excellent strength to keep Casmides off his back, and Casmides has gone down. Looks like he might have gotten hurt or stepped on in the process. Completely accidental, it looked like.
Alex Comsia is such a fun defender to watch. He's just no nonsense. Goes in strong, plays aggressively. As a captain, he commands that team out there. He's very vocal as well. Been a great performance. Not good from Alex Comsia tonight. It's been great. He's looked really solid back there, commanding that back line and just not letting anything go through him. If anybody's going to beat a defender, it's not going to be Alex Comsia tonight. He's been exceptional.
Nelson. And then Mendoza couldn't deliver a ball in, but it'll be a corner nonetheless. The 75th minute here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. Tobacco Road looking to go in front.
And Jamie, in his 15 minutes or so on the pitch, we've seen John Nelson's quality. He's made a few chances by himself with just clever little balls into the right areas, and great decision to bring him on, because I think as a defense, it's got to be tough to deal with him this late in the game.
Clipped in towards Comsia, and Bamba gets his head to it and gives Tobacco Road a 2-1 lead. And right as they were about to bring on Ibrahim Diouf for some height, they took the corner and Bamba scores.
And Jamie, that's 2 substitutes combining for that goal. Chompy Mendoza, a goal and an assist tonight. What a corner that was into the danger area. And Michael Bamber, right place, right time, puts that ball in the back of the net. Nothing Nick Gardner could do about that. And Jamie, we talked about it at halftime. Will this team respond? Will this team come out with energy? And I got to give a lot of credit to Cedric Burke, because without them substitutions at halftime and in the second half, this game's probably still 1-0. They have just provided that spark that this team has needed. And Chompy Mendoza, great play. Great play tonight from him so far in his 20 minutes or so on the pitch. He's been exceptional. 30 minutes or so on the pitch. He's been great.
And Eli Garner comes off. Ibrahim Diouf is on. Riley Copeland has come on for the visitors. It was Marcel Fahrenholtz who's come off. And that goal will do a world of good for Tobacco Road spirits. It's the Dynamo who are trying to equalise instantly, but Tobacco Road managed to get it away. Diouf did well to manage to keep the ball, but lost it momentarily. It will come back the way of Johnny Nelson, and Tobacco Road are content to keep the ball and just try and lure the Dynamo into committing too many forward and catch them on the break. Moreno, it's a lovely ball. Diouf is in, and it was good defending in the end by Al Amli, and he's gone down clutching his arm. Looks like he's in quite some discomfort. Not sure what happened. He was clearly in a tussle with Diouf and ended up the worst of the 2 players.
Jamie, and Al Amli about half the size of Diouf, and Diouf just landed straight on top of him. A lot of force landed on, I think it's his right arm, as he has not moved that right arm since that collision right there. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a shoulder injury or dislocated shoulder or something like that. That was a very, very hard collision. And El Amwi, who's really been solid tonight, he's been one of the better players for the Dynamo, is in a world of pain right now. And we just hope he's all right down there. Is Ibrahim Diouf. Good to see it from him, checking on him, still staying over there. No intent there from Diouf. Just one of those bang-bang plays that happens. And if El Amwi's not in that position, it could have been a goal. So hopefully he's all right down there, but you can see by his legs moving, he is in a world of pain right now.
He's definitely taken one for his side. Just some heroic defending against a man who could easily have gotten around him, but he stood his ground and has taken quite a hit because of it. It just gives these players a chance to have a water break, have a chat, rethink things, and in Tobacco Road case, continue what they're doing and keep calm. Don't make mistakes.
And unfortunately, this break kind of comes at a wrong time for Tobacco Road. If they've just been on top for the past 15 minutes or so, this break's going to give the Dynamo a chance to just think things over, regain a little bit of composure and confidence, and see if they can get some kind of response going into the final 12 minutes or so here at Durham County Stadium. But it looks like El Amwi's night is done regardless of how bad this injury is, because he is just in a world of pain right now. Still, he just looks like from up here he's got a hand over his face. And just hate to see it from a guy who's played so good tonight and has definitely been one of the better players on the pitch.
Yeah, in the Dynamo's case, he has been one of their better players for sure. Been there when they needed him, and still looks in a world of discomfort. He's being seen by the medical trainers from Tobacco Road and the coaching staff for the Dynamo. It looks like they're going to have to be forced into a change. As we can see a player just putting a shirt on. Looks like he'll be the replacement. Brian White. Looks like he'll come on for El Amwi. Loaded with instructions as well. As Al Amwi just gingerly walks off the pitch with the trainer and the coaching staff. You don't like to see it, but it is part of the game.
Yeah, Jamie, it is part of the game, unfortunately. Part of any sport. Injuries happen, and Alamwi is, fortunately, his night is done tonight. Just gingerly walking with the help of the trainers down there. Definitely a right shoulder injury. See, he's just not moving that arm at all. He's not moved it since the collision. And it's unfortunate to see, but nonetheless, the game's got to continue. And with that break right there, it's going to be interesting to see how both teams respond. Tobacco Road was the better team for a while. Gets a little bit of chance to cool off. That momentum kind of falls away. And on the contrary, it's about Carolina Dynamo have been on the back foot for a while now. And see if they've had a chance to regroup and talk these things out, because they have not looked good for the most part in the second half.
Flick towards Bamba. One of the most unlikely goal scorers that we could have thought of tonight. He's the one who's got the crucial goal that's put Tobacco Road 2-1 in front. We just have 9 minutes to go here between two teams who desperately want to win. Tobacco Road maybe need the win more than the Dynamo, but Dynamo have put up quite a fight. Johnny Nelson wins a free kick.
Don't know why the referee didn't play advantage there, as Nelson was in acres of space again. It's not the first time we've seen the referee call an attack back prematurely.
Moreno. White gets the better of him. But Champe Mendoza is tracking back to win the ball for Tobacco Road. Looking for Juve. Cleared away by Gunter. Brady Gunter. Sorry, Jacob, go ahead.
You're fine, Jamie. Sorry to interrupt you. Ibrahim Diouf done a great job tonight since he's come on to just provide a little bit more of an aerial threat and a long ball threat going forward for Tobacco Road. He's certainly the tallest player on the pitch right now.
It looks like it's Brian White, the substitute, who's just struggling here a bit. He's just come on the pitch and already has a problem, but looks to be all right at the moment, as Oscar Moreno will take the corner for Tobacco Road. Can they get the killer goal to put this game to bed? And the delivery is collected easily by Gardner. And he'll look to launch a counter for the Dynamo, but Lopez intercepts well under pressure from Almu Baslat. And Mike Bamba just having a word with the referee. Might have been a foul on that corner, and I feel like Bamba is arguing the case there, as Marshall Hodge will come on for Tobacco Road and replace Antonio Lopez, who's played an exceptional second game. Really bossed the midfield tonight. And Jacob Turner, what's been your take of him?
Oh, he's been a great addition. In Charlotte early in the week had a great performance. And tonight, I think he wasn't too flashy, didn't do a lot of things that's going to catch your eye from a neutral perspective. But if you understand soccer, you can understand the type of work that Antonio Lopez does. He does that dirty work that you need from your midfielders, from a midfielder. It doesn't have to be every one of them, but somebody's got to sit there, play those easy balls, disrupt things defensively, and he's done a great job of that. Great performance by Antonio Lopez, and a bit disappointed to see him go off the pitch, because he's really a good player to watch and a really solid guy. Carolina's picked up a gem in him, and anxious to see him play for Carolina next year. I'm sure he'll get some minutes as a freshman.
Wada. Burst of pace from him as they beat Duval. Hernandez. Duval looking for the run of, it looked like Zaitawi. Juff just slipped on his touch. Castellanos. Mendoza. Did well to get out of danger, but just couldn't find an open player. Nelson. Still going, Nelson. Mendoza. Moreno finds Juf. He's onside. Looked like he hesitated, waiting for the flag. Juf! Straight at the keeper.
Good play there by Ibrahim Zifar for that hesitation. I think he thought he was offsides. But, Jamie, it all again starts from John Nelson on that left side, just making that blistering direct run, weaving in and out of players.
Moreno, it nearly opened up for him on that left foot, but it's clearly his weaker side. But Tabaccaroda trying to close this match out and possibly get a third goal that would surely see the 3 points stay with them.
Yeah, at this point, it's just about Tabaccaroda closing the game out. Carolina Dynamo have really done nothing going forward in the second half, and a goal for them would be completely against the run of play in this half. And see if Tabaccaroda can close it out. They've been the better team in the second half by far.
Bamba with a long run. Still going as well, and he's won a corner. Just penning the Dynamo into their own half. As it looks like they'll take a short corner and try and keep this by the corner flag.
It's just been waves and waves of attack from Tabaccaroda over the past 10 minutes or so.
Nelson. He has a chance, and it's blocked in the end by a Dynamo defender. Looked like it was Brian White who got in the way of Nelson's shot. Gasmidis. There's still only one goal in this, and the Dynamo can still come away with at least a point tonight, which would not benefit Tabaccaroda. So getting this killer goal is in Tabaccaroda's best interest.
It is, Jamie. It really is. It's important to close this game out. And I think for Tabaccaroda, that's most important. Is a goal would be great, but if they could just continue to keep this ball in the Dynamo half and just do that for the next probably 8 minutes or so with that injury, is going to be a lot of added time put on by the referee after the 90 minutes is over. And Tabaccaroda just got to keep doing what they're doing because they've just been on top for the past 20 minutes. They've looked exceptional, playing some of the best soccer of the season.
Moreno cuts inside and still going. Moreno, it looked like he wanted to have a go. Nelson, Mendoza, and he got that volley all wrong. Just couldn't quite get the right connection on that, and it sees it fly over the top of the crossbars. It'll be another change for the Dynamo. Hunter Duval comes off, and he's replaced by Kyle Johnston. Looks like he'll be playing the role of a battering ram up top for the Dynamo as they still look to find an equalizer. Scoreline remains 2-1 in favour of Tabaccaroda in the 89th minute. Not sure how much stoppage time we're going to have, but Tabaccaroda will want to hold on to this lead and, if anything, trying to add to it. Ruhak. Hodge. Bamba. And now Nelson, who always is looking to drive forward and start another attack. Mendoza, who's shifted to this right-hand side. Moreno. And Nelson, it's caught out by Renek. Two fullbacks, Renek and Nelson, who play very similar styles of football. As you can see with another good pass from Renek that was cut out by Bamba.
Dynamo starting to get on the front foot a little bit here. Contrary to really how the whole second half is going. It's not the time from a Tabaccaroda perspective that you want Carolina Dynamo to step up in the last few minutes of the game, especially with the 2-1 lead, but look a little bit more comfortable on the ball now, not panicking like they were for most, or have been for most of the second half.
Zaitawi finds White. Back to Zaitawi. Hernandez. Cut out by Castellanos, and Juf will have a run at the Dynamo defense. And his touch is just too long. Almu Baslat trying to create something for the away side as they desperately want to get a result here. And Nelson has acres of space to run into for Tobacco Road as we are into injury time. Not sure how much time we'll have, but Mendoza has tried to find Wada, and he nearly did. And that could have killed off the game had Wada been able to get on the end of that through ball and finish past Gardner. Ruhak will try and keep this in the Dynamo half. Castellanos. Comcia. There's a confident pass, but the bounce deceived Nelson.
Bamber with a good bit of skill to try to play that on the one time over to Nelson, but just bounced at the wrong time. Nothing Nelson could really do about it. Tobacco Road just got to close this game out. Got to continue to play with that intensity, try to disrupt things when the Dynamo's in possession. There's only 4 or 5 minutes of added time. We're probably a couple minutes already into that, so not too much time left in this game, and a goal would just be heartbreaking for Tobacco Road.
Deflected off Moreno and hit Cedric Burke on this near touchline. Johnston cleared away by Ruhak, and Juf has a chance. Can he make it count? He finds Wada and tried to turn and just didn't make the right decision as Rennick came closing in on him.
That's such a poor giveaway from Taff Wada there, Jamie.
Did well to track back though, and Moreno has been clipped. The referee waves play on. Mendoza cuts it back onto his left. Mendoza! And then the goalkeeper nearly spilled it. Maybe Champagne Mendoza could have found another player in the box. He had Juf and Nelson with him. Elected to go for goal. That's a poor back pass from Bamba. And it's been punished by Riley Copeland. What an incredible mistake by Michael Bamba, and he'll be hanging his head. Tobacco Road have given away 3 points.
Jamie, I'm in shock with some of the play I've seen in the past 2 minutes from Tobacco Road. Starting going forward, why aren't they just dribbling it to the corner? They find themselves with a 2-1 lead and are still having shots on goal. I don't understand that for the life of me. And then Michael Bamber, no communication from his defenders. Maybe there was, but you can't play that ball. Nothing Cretans can do about it. And for not the first time this season, Jamie, it's second, third time this year, Tobacco Road give away 3 points in the final minute of the game, and just so disappointing. Just not playing smart enough for me. At times this team just lacks focus. They don't understand how to end games at times. Game management, if you will, and from just dribbling into the corner and holding the ball to poor back passes. You can't have that if you want to win games in this league, and it's punished them again.
Dynamo are looking to try and win it here. Kasmidis. Not much time left, and Cretans came out brilliantly to claim that. Johnston just couldn't get on the end of it. Nelson. Castellanos. Desperate times for Tobacco Road. And Mendoza's touch is too strong. Referee still hasn't blown for full time. And without the benefit of the clock, we have no idea when he will. But Tobacco Road desperately need a goal now. Nelson. Taking on Rennick. Oh, when he just lost his bearings. There'll be a throw in for the Dynamo. They don't have time to take it, and at the depth, the Dynamo has snatched a point from Tobacco Road here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. The substitute, Riley Copeland, cancelling out Michael Bamber's header in the second half that gave Tobacco Road the 2-1 lead, and those players down there in black must be deflated.
Jamie, I haven't seen it into a game like that at this level in a long time. It's uncharacteristic. It's uncalled for. And it's just super disappointing and deflating for this team. This club this season just hasn't had the breaks go their way, and Michael Bamber with just a horrible back pass gives it right to the Dynamo attacking player, and he just buries it past Cretans. Nothing he can do. And from the way this team played in the second half, this is just devastating for them. It's just such a deflating loss. They needed those 3 points, and unfortunately now mathematically unable, even though it was a long shot, they're now mathematically unable to make the USL PDL playoffs. So disappointing way to disqualify yourself from that position, but just wasn't good enough for them. And they could have just come out with that intensity in the first half, same way they played in the second half. Wouldn't have to worry about a late goal like that. And just another case this season, Jamie, of a full 90 minutes not being played, and that's why they've really just found good, positive results hard to come by.
Well, coming up after this short break, we'll break down all the analysis for you from Durham County Memorial Stadium as it finishes 2-2 between Tobacco Road and the Carolina Dynamo. Finishes 2-2 here at Durham County Memorial Stadium as Tobacco Road just let this one slip away from them. They took a 2-1 lead, Champion Mendoza finding the equalizer, and then Michael Bamber with a bullet header into the back of the net, but it was Michael Bamber with the mistake, and the Dynamo were able to equalize at the death.
Yeah, just a poor case of game management from Tobacco Road, not being able to see the game out. We've seen that a few times this season. Even before that, we see the likes of a couple of Tobacco Road players going forward and choosing to have shots when there's less than 5 minutes left. And, as you see at the highest level of soccer, you watch any match when the team finds themselves up in stoppage time, they're dribbling to the corner and they're holding that ball, or they're keeping possession. And Tobacco Road just struggled to do that. They didn't need to attack. They had shots late on in the game that they didn't need to have. And it was just disappointing to see from the perspective. And then, like you said, Michael Bamber makes a really poor back pass. Could have easily just kicked it 50, 100 yards out of bounds if he wants to. Kick it anywhere besides there, and gets a 1v1 with the keeper, and nothing Cretans could do about it. Good finish by the Carolina Dynamo player as well, but just another disappointing finish for Tobacco Road this season. It's unfortunately been a theme for them, and got to kick on and keep going. But I guess a team like the Dynamo, dropping 3 points that late on is a tough pill to swallow.
Especially being a team that they beat 2-0 earlier this season, beat them 4-0 last season, and now that the playoff hopes are gone, Tobacco are really going to have to dig deep to find a reason to play well and build their spirits up. It's all about personal pride for the end of the season now.
Yeah, and even with the poor run of form that this Tobacco Road team has really had in the past month, they've stayed together. And go in the locker room. These guys are a tight-knit group. They enjoy playing with each other. The managerial staff still has a really good grip on these players, and got to commend them for that. But this on-the-field product just hasn't been good enough for me, especially late in games. This team really just plays about 80 minutes for most every game, if that, and then for 10, 20 minutes every match, they just fall apart. And we saw in the first half here, it was really poor. In the second half, those substitutions by Cedric Burke really changed the dynamic of this game, really made some good things happen. And unfortunately for Tobacco Road, they did the right things in the second half to win this game. Great goal by Champion Mendoza, great goal by Michael Bamber, and then Michael Bamber makes a mistake that 9 times out of 10 he doesn't make. And it's just one of those games, and unfortunately it's been one of those seasons for Tobacco Road. But like we mentioned, you got to keep kicking on, you got to keep playing, keep your head up high, and just move on to the next game.
And up next for Tobacco Road, it's another away trip to Charlotte Eagles. And they got a 0-0 draw the other night. Wednesday night, it was a rainy night. There was a lot of rain delays as well. And the Charlotte Eagles are another team who have fallen off the form, and they were the last year's 2018 PDL champions. What a fall from grace from another talented squad in this competitive South Atlantic division. And Tobacco Road really want to go into that one confident. They played them and probably played them off the pitch in their last in a 0-0 draw in the last matchup. But going into that one, Tobacco Road, it's going to be hard for them to find confidence, but knowing how they played against them last time, they may be able to build that back up again.
Looking back on Wednesday, Jamie, you were there, obviously, but I think you could agree that Tobacco Road probably should have won that game by a few goals. Defensively, were really solid. Played a full 90 minutes for the first time all season, Ryan Cretan said, the starting goalkeeper for Tobacco Road. And they should have a lot of confidence going down there based on how they played Wednesday. The only problem with this result right here is it's just so deflating. It takes you down a level, and it makes you sit back and say, hey, is this just going to be the theme of the season? So the response for Tobacco Road is going to be, hey, we're going to continue to feel bad for ourselves and continue to not put performances in, or we're going to say, hey, let's go out and let's play well. Not only for the club, for the crest on our shirt, but for each other. So hopefully they respond well. Hopefully they go down to Charlotte Eagles and back a few goals, because you can probably agree with me, Jamie, Wednesday night should have came back with 3 points, and then tonight should have came back with 3 points, and instead found themselves with 2 points on the week when really they should have picked up 6.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight from Durham County Memorial Stadium. It's a disappointing night that could have been a victorious one for Tobacco Road in all honesty, but it finishes 2-2 between Tobacco Road and the Carolina Dynamo.
And it's in! What a header!
Still Zach Wright.
Oh, and he's finished it off! Gunner!